Ahoy, Buccaneers and Buccarinas! My name is Captain Yugioh, and welcome back to another installment of the Heroic Challengers Adventure series, where I get to talk about a couple of the decks that I basically use to help be the heroic parts of Galakrond's Awakening. So, before anything else, I just want to remind you all to, if you like what you see, like the video, obviously comment down below, and if you really like my content, whether that's Overwatch or Hearthstone or Yugioh, or all of those, feel free to subscribe to the channel so that way you can make sure you're up to date with everything that's going on. So, with all that in mind, let's talk about Chapter 2. Chapter 2 is a lot harder than Chapter 1. That shouldn't really come as any surprise. It's just something that just progressively gets harder and harder throughout the course of the series, and that's no surprise really. But what's even harder is actually trying to limit yourself just to using standard legal cards and standard legal decks, because it's not like I don't have wild cards or cards that could be played in wild in that regard. It's just, that wouldn't be fun. That would be just too easy to break things, right? So, we have to break things in the most simplest way possible. Turns out that's not so easy. So, outside of reusing Highlander Hunter and the Rockyology Warlock deck that I was using before, I did make the effort to put in some work towards some other deck ideas, and I tried a few different things out. Like, some of these bosses are really hard. The Senior Explorers weren't that difficult in my experience, but Lazul is definitely tough because you have to get through the first part, and she's always taking your stuff and blowing your stuff up and destroying the masses of your stuff, just getting rid of so many things. And then she's got a phase 2 where she has 50 more health, and that is very difficult. And I tried a lot of things against Lazul in particular, where it was just like, what? I tried Pirate Warrior, Pirate Rogue, Pirate Warrior. That's kind of the only two pirate decks right now, for Rogue and Warrior, and neither of those was quite good enough to get past the first stage. Lightforged Paladin did manage to make it through the first part of it, but by the time I got to the second part, I was already running out of cards, I was running out of life, it wasn't very good. So, eventually though, I did find one particular deck to eventually work, and that deck was Treant Druid. Now, this is, if you're not familiar with Druid and Treants, where have you been? Do you not know what Druid does? That's like their main thing is trees and beasts, to some lesser degree. But in any case, Druid's Treant deck, basically, the Treant deck works like a token Druid deck, which is just dedicated to just summoning a bunch of minions on the board and throwing them all at your opponent. In the case of the Treant Druid, that's on a specific focus towards Treants, because you've got support cards like Goru the Might Tree and Aeroponics, which helps you draw things out from the deck as long as you have a bunch of trees out, and there's just a lot of synergy within the deck, so it's able to put on a lot of bodies on the board, which is good, because that actually really does help against a lot of the minions that Lazul ends up playing against you. So the trick was really just trying to play out a bunch of tokens and then just like continuously either smartly trade off or hit her in the face. And eventually you bring her down in like her second phase form. I ended up managing to get powerful enough to get out like 5/5, 6/6, 7/7s, which is really tough to do. But Savage Roar is your friend, all the Blessing of the Ancients, all the Treant stuff, Goru, all these things are your friends at this point, so it took a couple of tries. I will not say that this is a guaranteed slam dunk kind of win, but welcome to Heroic in a nutshell. So that was kind of that with the with Lazul. Then we've got Cultist Dawn Shatter, which in the main storyline isn't too necessarily difficult to beat. She's not running some of the most powerful dragons you can, but her entire deck in Heroic is dedicated to getting out these big dragons. Like, she's playing the 4-mana 5/7 Shaman Dragon. She's playing, you know, all sorts. She's playing the 5/4 that can't be targeted by spells or hero powers. She's playing the 7/7/7 Taunt, can't be targeted by spells or hero powers. She's playing the 6-mana 5/3 with Rush and Divine Shield. and can't be targeted by spells or hero powers. So she's, needless to say, she's got a lot of, like, tons of dragons to work with. She's got Bone Drake, which when it dies, it gives you a dragon. There's so many things about it. But the biggest problem is dealing with her hero power, which basically says whenever you play a dragon, you give it a death rattle that says it goes dormant, and then 3 turns later, it gets revived. Now, the good news about this is that it only works on dragons that she plays, not when she summons. So, she's able to get it out of the deck, it won't work. If she's summoning it off of another card, that won't work. If it's bringing itself back from the death rattle, it won't reattach the death rattle, so it'll be constantly cycling. So, that's kind of the good thing. The really tricky part, though, is trying to efficiently trade into a lot of these dragons, because, well, if they don't die, or if they do die, they'll just come back. So it's a really difficult hero power to work with. I tried, like, so many different things to work with, and it was really tough. It's just a very tough deck to work against. But I think I did find at least one deck idea. This was the only other real deck that I was playtesting for the most part, or trying out. I did try a couple of other decks, like I tried Galakron, Warrior, to a degree, which kind of did well for a little bit, but it's the difficult part about Galakron Warrior is that you're trying to trade up, and you're usually using your face a lot of the time, just because of the nature of the Galakron hero power in that regard. So, what I did end up finding, though, was if I used the Priest structure deck, Day of the Dead, I actually could basically wall things off, keep things going, and I ended up just demolishing. I think I did that with a couple of the bosses. One of the bosses I remember getting a Witchwood Grizzly out, doubling its health twice, interfiring it, and then just hitting it with like a 54 freaking giant beast. I think I added in like a power word shield or something on top of that. But this seemed to be a good stally kind of control deck that essentially just keeps damage from hitting you in the face. I suspect that honestly, if you played like the control quest priest, you'll be able to do fine against the dragon build. As for Ascara and Hagatha, Hagatha actually seemed to be kind of easy, but I think I was playing Highlander Hunter at the time. I'm not really sure if it should be so easy to defeat somebody who's just got this ability to transform their minions into bigger minions and has the 2 mana make a minion cost 3 more and transform it into a random minion. You know, it's interesting that I didn't have as much hard of a time with Hagatha as I did with like Lazul or Dragoncaster Ascara, the villain side. Needhog actually was like really easy. I just played Supreme Archaeology against him and just stalled him out for as much as I could. I managed to top deck a Twisting Nether at one point, which helped me keep me going. A lot of my life gains came into play, and I was able to achieve the full combo and just kill him in like 2 turns, because that's just how quickly the deck can win against something like that. So Dragoncaster Ascara is really tough too, because she's got like that hero power that's like, okay, your dragons cost 1 less, and when you play a dragon, switch it over to the other side, where your spells will cost 1 less, and if you play a spell, so usually the way the AI looks at it though, it tries to discount the dragon or the spell first, so it can switch the hero power and then play a dragon or a spell depending on how it works. So like, it'll play like Fairy Dragon for 1 mana, a 1 mana 3/2 in this deck, to then play like Arcane Missiles for 0, or like Arcane Breath for 0, and then play another dragon. That's usually how the AI is like operating off of this. So if you're able to take advantage of that, it'll work. But geez, pretty much for the most part, it was mainly a mix of Highlander Hunter a little bit, Supreme Archaeology, but then I threw in Treant Druid and the Day of the Dead Priest deck. Now, I think if I operate a little bit more towards like making sure like the Priest deck is a little bit more like Quest Priest or a bit more control oriented, that would do even better. But other than that, I'm kind of just like, these bosses are getting tough. So hopefully that helps you guys out. I'll probably see how Chapter 3 goes, because, jeez, I can't wait for Chapter 3 to just kick me in the tush. It's going to be rough. That's for sure. That's going to be a rough chapter to go through. Like, Wyrmrest was just hard enough as is. Now we got, like, an aerial fighting chapter. I don't even know what the boss is going to be like about that. But we'll see how that goes. So, hopefully this helps out. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And there will be more videos. Next week will probably be another one of these little reviews and / strategies for getting through. I don't know if I'll be able to do a whole lot with, like, if I don't find that there's another deck that works really well that's standard legal or something like that, then I guess I'll probably just do something else for next week. But other than that, hopefully you guys have a good one. Take it easy, people. Take it real easy. Take it so easy. Take it so easy. Just be easy with this, okay?